Pam, 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 pam. We are live. Giants versus Eagles pregame. How is everybody doing, man? It's a great day to be a Giant. For some reason, I got this feeling that we're going to win. I'm Bobby Skinner, here with Justin Pennick, here to take some of your questions and just get hyped up. Honestly, I wasn't like all that hyped up for this game, Justin. And then as soon as I tied my shoes, I just got hit with a brick of nerves and just was ready to like start dancing and like punching things in my house.
I'm trying to do the act of tying shoes without actually having shoes. It's very difficult to like feel that process. Hi. I am very excited for this game. This game is very important. I don't think we need to say how important it is. We win, we're a half game out, we lose, and we're really upset for the next 2 weeks. So, Bobby Skinner, I woke up with not a great feeling, but I'm so wrong. My conscience is so dead wrong. We're going to win today.
What if we win big? How about that? Have you had that feeling yet? Like
no.
We may just blow this cracker team out.
No. That would be nice and refreshing though, right? Especially coming from the last few weeks, we were blowing 10-point leads. So, unlikely though. Unlikely.
But I mean, eventually, at some point, we're going to blow out a team that's like we're not favored against. You know, like at some point, that has to happen as a New York Giants fan.
It's true.
You know, the last time we won a game easily was Washington Week 4 last year. Although you could say the Miami game last year was not easily, but like a game where the entire fourth quarter, you know, you're going to win.
Right.
That's the kind of, I guess even that Miami game, we didn't really have that feeling because, I mean, we were down at the half. So, all right, so we got some questions. We'll get to it. Derek says, how many turnovers for DJ today?
-2.
With 0.
-2.
0. What's that on my hand? I got a cut on my finger. Look.
Oh no.
I'm going with 0. I'm going with 0. So ask your questions. We'll answer them. Cleaning some stuff up. Tate Crowder was not activated. When we did our Friday episode, we thought he was going to play. How much of a difference do you think that makes?
I think it makes a big difference. Now, the good thing is that the last time we played Philly, Darnay Holmes was not playing. So then you had Logan Ryan at slot corner, and then you had the 3 safety sets with Nate Ebner in. So I honestly would rather see David Mayo and Devontae Downs on the field than Nate Ebner. So I think the more important piece that is returning this game that was not here at Thursday Night Football is Darnay Holmes. But still, Tate Crowder brings an athleticism in coverage. He brings an athleticism going sideline to sideline when Philly's running the ball. They have Miles Sanders back, so they may try to open up their running game a little bit more. I'm still confident in this defensive front to stop the run. But if the Giants can run their 3 safety sets with whoever in the box, whether that's Ryan or Peppers, they haven't been putting Love back there. Love in there, excuse me, not back there. If they can do that, I feel very, very good about them on passing downs.
Yeah. Yeadon will play. I would rather have Yeadon and Holmes than Lewis. And I mean, who are even playing? I mean, we're playing Corey Ballantyne at points in the last Eagles.
Yeah, and it's same thing with Logan Ryan would have to come down and play slot corner, and then we would have Love, Peppers, and Ebner at safety, and that's just not fun. Not fun.
Yeah, and it's like but at the same time, it's like if Yeadon goes down, Corey Ballantyne is gone. He's on the Jets now. Rest in peace to his career. Ryan Lewis is on IR. You have nobody that plays outside corner besides Yeadon. Like Logan Ryan's never played outside corner in the NFL.
Yeah, he has. It's been a long time, but he has.
When did he? He always played nickel corner.
In New England, he played a little outside.
Oh, I thought he only played nickel. So yeah, that's my worry. And like I said, I know we said this on the episode the other day, but just the fact that Wentz always makes these huge plays against us by getting outside the pocket and dodging one tackle where it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get a sack. And then Wentz dodges somebody. But he also, he'll give us, a couple of plays on a platter, like that interception to James Bradbury last game where it was like, what in the hell is Wentz doing? But I mean, in reality too, the last time we played this team, Daniel Jones didn't have any turnover plays because the interception was a tip off of Evan Ingram's hands.
Yep.
So it's not like the Eagles have Daniel Jones' number.
Right. Daniel Jones has been doing a much better job getting the ball out of his hands quicker the last 2 weeks. And Andrew Thomas has looked much better, which is huge. And they've been rotating Matt Parrott in more, which means the liability, I'm not going to say liability. You can speak to this more than I can, Bobby. The no value, the nothingness that Cam Fleming brings, it's being reduced because Matt Parrott actually comes in and he does some nice things, particularly in the run game. And also the run game is clicking more. The run game is clicking more outside of Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones was basically this Giants rushing offense. Think of the 80-yard play that he had against Philly. So Philly's team looks a lot different because they're getting healthier, but also I feel like the Giants are different offensively and defensively in some aspects too.
Yeah. Lemieux, it seems like Lemieux is going to start. That's what every beat reporter has made it sound like. Shane Lemieux will start and they'll rotate Hernandez. I guess, I have no clue what the effects of COVID are after 2 weeks. I guess it seems that it takes some time to come back.
COVID fog.
Yeah, I guess so. But this talking point that that Lemieux is better than Hernandez is probably the talking point that's getting on my nerves the most this year. There's been some talking points that have gotten on my nerves, but that one is really getting on it.
It's just correlation. It's not causation. It's just correlation. Oh, Shane Lemieux has come in and the Giants' offense has looked better. Therefore, Shane Lemieux is single-handedly making the offense better? No.
Well, especially Andrew Thomas. That's one reason.
Yeah.
Also, I shut down the talking point. I got tired of hearing this last week of like the Giants had 5 turnovers, won the turnover 5-0 and won by 3 points. And I was like, okay, well they all took knees on after 2 of those turnovers, and one of them and scored on 2 others. So like they kind of did what they were supposed to with the turnover battle.
No, we talked about that on Monday's show last week, and I said research Rick brought it up that I believe 3 of the turnovers were at the end of halves.
Yeah, 2 kneels, the 3 and out where Daniel Jones got sacked and didn't fumble, and then a touchdown and a field goal.
And then the 2 other turnovers we turned into 10 points. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
That's what you're supposed to do when teams turn over the ball. You're supposed to put the ball in the end zone, put points on the board, take advantage of those opportunities. And we did. So that's also you want to add another key to the game. If the Eagles are gonna turn over the ball today, play opportune football. That drive has to be a scoring drive. We're trying to establish the Giants as somewhat of a decent, average, competitive football team. You have to take advantage of those opportunities. So let's see it. Let's see it.
Paul Nonia says Freeman better not take the starting job when he comes back. Now he got put on IR after missing 3 games. Did he play in the Eagles game?
Who was this?
He did play in the Eagles game. That's the game he left. So he missed the last 2 games, and now he's going to be out for 3 games. I assume that he's not going to play for this team again because his contract was very incentive laden, and I guess I could pull it up, but I'm assuming that his contract means that hey, he's not getting paid anything extra for being on the roster.
Yeah,
I'm saying
unless
playing time.
Unless Alfred Morris slows down, which that wouldn't surprise me if Alfred Morris just becomes unproductive at some point. I like Devonta Freeman better than Alfred Morris. I'm sorry, I do.
Yeah, me too. But that thinking about price wise.
But what are the incentives? I feel like the incentives are games played. I don't think he's going to get that. If it's a yards total, he's definitely not going to get that because he's not going to be the number 1 guy. So even if it's an incentive-based contract, Bobby, I don't even think he would hit anything because he's not starting, and he's missed so many games.
Yeah, but it might be a being active for the game. I don't know. I can't find the tweak.
We'll check back on that.
Yeah. But anyways, I assume that if he was getting paid for being on the roster going forward, shut up phone, that he would be cut because 5 straight weeks of him being out is not worth keeping him on the roster if it's costing him money.
Right.
So Freeman definitely is. I definitely like Freeman better than Morris. It's just a matter of okay, well, Freeman's hurt. Um,
Joseph just left a funny comment on YouTube.
Joseph. Okay, I had a nightmare. Thank you, Joseph. I think Joseph is a new Patreon too. I think I actually have his.
Oh, Joe.
Yep, Joseph. I'm taking his magnet to the mail tomorrow.
Look at that. Thank you, Joe. Welcome.
I had a nightmare that Yeadon was out and today, and we started Marjay Harper. Oh, Marjay Harper is that cornerback. I forgot about Marjay Harper. Okay, so we're okay if Yeadon goes out. Not really, but you know what I mean. And he got torched. If Yeadon was out, would we start Darnay or Logan at cornerback 2 and let them try and beat Love at safety?
Is Marjay Harper the crazy guy?
Yeah.
Okay, good. He's like psychotic. He's great.
These NFL accounts need to stop sharing the Deshaun Jackson touchdown clip again, like the Miracle in the Meadowlands,
just
because he hates Jews. Deshaun Jackson hates Jews. Why are we sharing his highlights?
Jason Ramsey just asked a really nice question on YouTube.
I know. Stop ignoring why are we celebrating someone that hates Jews and Deshaun Jackson?
Why are we celebrating?
Why is that
Golden
controversial
Tate?
for me to say that I don't like a guy that hates Jews? I like Jews.
Golden Tate hates the Giants. Why are we celebrating him coming back?
He doesn't. Supposedly his attitude's gotten better. And I believe that. I don't think that's just like talk. I think Tate, they sat me down. I'm sure he's not like the happiest, but I'm sure, I don't think he's in there causing, continuing to cause trouble. You know what I mean?
You know who, according to Coach Judge, you know who's been staying every day to get extra work, getting extra mental reps in the film room, called him Scrappy?
Austin Mack.
You know who had the biggest passing play?
Because we called 4 verts.
Well, and guess who's a little bit more better suited to run those 4 verts on the outside compared to Golden Tate? Austin Mack's a little bit more suited to do that. I'm glad Golden Tate.
You throw it to him contested though, deep.
Yeah. I'd rather let my 6'1", 6'2" wide receiver than Golden Tate's 5'11".
I mean, every time he gets a jump ball thrown at him, he comes down with it.
Sheesh. You're not wrong.
I know. It's true.
The once every 4 or 5 weeks that he gets a jump ball thrown at him, he comes
last
down.
year it was a little more common last season.
Yeah. This is funny. Sean, think his wife's attitude has changed? No,
probably not. It's probably gotten worse. They suspended him. I'm sure it's gotten worse.
Probably just changed the password on her. Golden Tate probably just changed her password on Instagram so she can't get to it on game days.
Mr. Hangglider Man says, this is actually a good question. Why is RJ McIntosh on the roster? Makes no sense, bro. I think it does make sense. Because I think RJ McIntosh is as solid as a 5th defensive tackle as you can get. I like RJ McIntosh. I think he's a pretty decent player. I mean, look at his production per snap last year. It's crazy. He gets sacks, tackles for loss. Every time he comes into a game for the New York Giants, it hasn't happened this year, he gets a sack or a QB hit or a tackle for a loss. I think it is for when we move on from either Dalvin Tomlinson or Larry Williams to have as that 5th defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Simple
Absolutely.
as that.
Yep.
I think that's why he is someone who would get signed if he was not on the active roster.
Yes, I agree.
So I actually like RJ McIntosh. And my thing is, now Eric Tomlinson was finally cut. I was like, why is Eric Tomlinson on the roster? What do we need this 4th tight end who's been in the league for? There's no point of having him on the roster. So he was finally cut. And I would cut TJ Brunson before I cut RJ McIntosh. And I know TJ Brunson was a draft pick this year, but I would rather cut him than McIntosh, because it's who are we keeping off the roster for RJ McIntosh? Nobody. Especially now that we have 6 wide receivers on the roster. You got Slayton, Shepard, Tate, Mack, now Pettis, and CJ Board. So you have 6 wide receivers. It's not like if it was the beginning of the year when we only had 4 wide receivers, I would be annoyed by that. But now that we have 6 wide receivers on the roster, I'm not bothered by that at all. Should we use more RPO read option with DJ? We're actually using it we're using it just as much as we were in those games where it's taking those long runs. But a part of the run game being better is teams are starting to respect that. Teams are starting to play Daniel Jones, and they're not screaming down the backside. And so we've been running it still. It's just that we've been handing the ball off on it more.
The Giants last week had 5 rushes of more than 10 yards. And that was the 3rd time this year that they had 5 rushes of 10 yards or more. But within those 5 plays, Washington was the first game that Daniel Jones was not involved in one of those explosive plays in the run game. So it means that the run game is starting to establish itself. I hate that I just said that. Establish itself without Daniel Jones.
Research Rick says versus Washington, Graham played one D line, meant 6 times in game 1 and then 2 times in game 2. Versus Philly, the first time he played one D line 16 times. Will it be reduced today? What surprise left for Patrick Graham to delight us with? I don't think it'll be reduced today because we're kind of thin on the back end a little bit.
Yeah. We have the secondary pieces because we forgot about Madre Harper. And they've been playing. They've been playing those kind of scrub corners that they've got off of the scrap heap of other teams. I think I would rather see more secondary pieces out there, Bobby, than David Mayo and Devontae Downs in coverage. I would rather see that than those two struggling in coverage. Am I right? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Big stepper. We have another person from the future. Wow. I come from the future. Golden Tate catches 2 tuds on 8 catches for 87 yards. I will take that. 2 catches for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. I will take that.
Thank you
from coming from the future to tell us?
Is that I love that profile picture. It's half of Donald Trump and then half of that rapper, the XX attention guy who rests in peace.
Rest in hell. Is that really him?
The XX Tenacion. Extension.
All right. Some little kids like, how dare you say that this horrible person you're not sad about? All right. Well, shouldn't have done that. All right.
No.
So are we going to have a real linebacker starting, or is Nate Ebner still in costume? So Nate Ebner is actually, he's only here for special teams. He's had to play. This is kind of why, and I know this is like a dumb take. I'm not really fond of signing only special teams players because then they have to play in the game and they're not ready to play in the game. I'd rather just trust someone who maybe a little bit less of a special teamer. Then it's like, okay, but I can feel comfortable playing him on the field. Like, I'd rather have Michael Thomas as that 5th guy than Nate Ebner.
Still in costume made me LOL. That was funny. That was a good touch.
Oh, man. People are going to be really mad at me. I already know. I don't care. If there was let's see.
I don't know how to say his name.
I know how to say I'm moving on, though. Realistically, who sees more time, Mac or Tate? I actually think it's going to be Mac. Who do you think, though? Like, now, who do you want?
I hope. Well, I don't know what I think because I want it too much. How about that? That's what she said. I genuinely think it's going to be Mac. I hope that Jason Garrett, coaching staff, wide receiver coach, etc., they're seeing, the offense can actually be a little bit more explosive with Mac. It's also situationally, right? It's also very situationally. They've also been using Austin Mack. I don't know if you noticed this, Bobby. Before he kind of had like this pseudo starting role with Tate out, and Tate having his issues. Whenever Austin Mack would be in, they would motion him inside the box and they would use him as a blocking wide receiver. And they did that constantly. Like whenever Austin Mack went in motion, you knew it was going to be a run play. Whenever he went in motion and he was inside the box, you knew 100% of the time it was going to be a run play. So they may even like him more as a blocker. So that's why he could see more reps.
Yeah. Speaking of people that block, do you guys think we should utilize Toilolo more when running the ball? And do you think we might use D. Lewis more as a receiver out of the backfield? Joe Judge. I think that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to continue to do that.
Toilolo snaps have been going up. Caden Smith.
You've been seeing more, and this is something we wanted before the season even started, before everyone was down on Ingram.
Correct.
We're like, hey, use Evan Ingram, but also let's get us some reps out there with just Caden and Toilolo. Yeah. So they have to respect both.
Before the season, I was asking for Evan Ingram's snap count to be around 80%, and last week it was actually at like 75, and I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, for shizzle. We're not going to do GM questions in this pregame Q&A.
No, we're going to win. I don't care.
What do you think happens if Purge struggles today? I'm expecting him to start to the bye, but if he struggles, things get messy.
He could start after the bye.
Yeah,
That's a good thought.
It would depend how those struggles look. Do you think we will see McKinney this year? Yes, after the bye, I would assume. I have no clue, though.
How many times have we been asked that question, Bobby?
So many questions. So many times.
What have you heard about McKinney? We hear just as much as you do.
I know. Let's see. Do you guys think we will do better against Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, Justin?
It depends on how much they utilize Miles Sanders in the passing game. I think we will do fine against the run, knock on wood, because I have that much trust in the Giants' run defense. The Giants' run defense isn't even a thing that I think about because I just think that those guys are so solid. Even Austin Johnson has looked really good whenever they've put him in. But if they use because they've used Boston Scott creatively in the past game, and Carson Wentz, think back to that game-winning touchdown. Miles Sanders is much more talented, so if they can use the running backs in the passing game, then I'm a little worried about who's covering who, and if we're playing zone too. If we're not playing man-to-man, then guys can get open.
Yeah. Shane Lemieux starting.
I don't think it means much.
It just means they're truly going to do a rotation.
Yeah.
Do you think we break Carson Wentz's ankle today? Asks Robert Woods. Oh, good question, Robert Woods. Do you think we break his ankle today?
I'm a big fan of you on the Rams. I have you on my fantasy team. Not gonna lie, it would kind of help if we did it in the first half.
Now, when Dak broke his ankle, it actually I felt like super bad for like you could see the pain. Like it pained me as a human being. When Kyle Allen did it, I didn't realize he broke his ankle at first, and I was more of like, that's not a penalty.
Oh, I knew it right away. I was like,
and then it was like, oh, that sucks. And then it's like, okay, I'm not gonna like complain about the penalty too much because this guy just broke his ankle. If it happens to Wentz today, we just need to embrace it as Giants fans. We break through his ankles.
If we're gonna break an ankle, can we not make it like we're gonna vomit and we're gonna yak if we watch it again? Just break it nicely, and then he can just get off the field. I just think we need to embrace it. If that is that who we are as this team is looking for an identity. Is our team identity breaking quarterbacks' ankles? I don't know. Theismann, we broke his leg. Then we got back on the train of breaking Washington bones with Kyle Allen, and we did it to Dak. Broke Tony Romo's collarbone a couple years ago. I feel like there was a game where Mike Vick got hurt against us, but wasn't like a bad injury. But we need that final big major quarterback injury to happen against the Eagles, and then I think we can cement our reputation as a team that does that. All right, last question. Does Garrett open up the playbook today or back to the curl, slant, slant? Last week it was curl, slant, slant. I mean, big time. It worked because we were getting the ball out quick. But I just want to. I'm working. Like I said, I'm working on a bye week project. Give this guy a shot. Let him play in his game. And this is like something I've been pointing to. Everyone kind of hated Justin Herbert in the draft process. Not hated him, but they're like, this guy, you're just falling in love with stuff. He doesn't have the it factor. That's what I said. You take him out of a horizontal game playbook like Oregon and put him in a vertical playbook like the Chargers, and he looks like a better pro than he did a college player. Put Jones in a vertical playbook. There will be mistakes, but I'm okay with those mistakes if you're in this vertical playbook. I mean, the most plays we've ran of having 2+ 15-yard routes this year is 14 versus Chicago. 14 versus Chicago. I went to one random game last year from the Vikings. We ran 17. Just one random game. So just in that one random game I picked, we went downfield more. So, and the O-line was bad last year, and there was one sack. And the sack rate differences between not running those plays and running those plays really is only different by like 2%. So, make this playbook vertical. The Giants are only averaging 2 plays per game of 15 or more passing yards. This isn't even like air yards. This is just how are you producing big explosive plays, and how are those actual results yards wise? They've been averaging 2 pass plays of more than 15 yards throughout the entire season. Yeah, it's not great.
we'll finish on this. Coney ASAP says, I made it. Coney, tell us what's going to happen. Coney is from the future, and we'll finish off on this. Coney, what will happen today? Will the Giants win? Will the Eagles win? Will so-and-so, give us a quick, not a prediction, because we know it's not a prediction. Just give us a little insight of what will happen, because Coney ASAP is from the future. I know we're a little delayed, so.
Someone did say in the YouTube chat that it is windy at MetLife today. I don't know how windy. We'll keep. Hopefully they say.
I don't care.
Hopefully you don't care. Okay.
If we can't change our entire game plan on some wind.
It's true. Eli never did. Eli said, "F that wind."
I'm saying. And because I saw some people say like the Tampa game was like wind, and I was like, well, that's not an excuse. You know, like that's not an excuse to play bad as wind. I get if now where I dip if he can't throw in the wind, then that's an issue. Now the issue I had was people pointed to that Miami Hurricanes game from his last year at Duke when it was literally it was 35-mile-per-hour winds. The field was a swamp. It was they're literally playing in a tropical storm. That was okay. I get that he might miss some throws in a game they won, by the way, but it was that is not a game to point to of the wind stuff. But if he can't throw in the wind, that's an issue. All right. All right, Coney ASAP. He says, finna be a blowout. Finna be a blowout. I love it. I love it. Giants are going to win. Appreciate you guys. Let me play something for you guys before we go.
That story you'll see only on 2. A bald eagle, perhaps the most iconic symbol of our nation, shot and killed.
Witnesses tell us that a group of young men is responsible for its death. Those witnesses say they often saw the eagle near Breezeway Street in Northwest.
Dead Eagles. Dead Eagles will happen today. Dead Eagles. We want to kill the Eagles. So we'll be live after the game, probably around 7:45 is usually when we get rolling. Recording our post-game show. It's about 45 minutes to an hour. If you want to be live on it, it's patreon.com/talkinggiants. It's literally just $2 a month. You get entered to, or not entered, you get a magnet. And you get to be in our live chats, our daily discussions and stuff. And twice a month, or we do 2 raffles a month for a free t-shirt. So which we'll probably end up doing this upcoming week. So
a shirt like this.
Yeah, if you want to get that shirt, or there's Eli, there's a lot of shirts on there. So appreciate you guys. Subscribe, do it again. Coney said to play it again, so I'm going to play it again, and then
that story you'll see only on 2. A bald eagle, perhaps the most iconic symbol of our nation, shot and killed.
Witnesses tell us that a group of young men is responsible for its death. Those witnesses say they often saw the eagle near Breezeway Street in Northwest.
All right. See you guys after the game. Let's freaking win. Let's win. You could get this if you want to on the store. And then I could wear it like I'm a punk. Wear it like that. All right.
Like Bieber.
Just mess up my hair. All right. See you guys. Let's win a damn game.